talk about getting your local business found online. SEO for local business. I'm Emily Journey, and I've been helping people with their websites and their SEO problems since 2012. So I have a lot of experience working with small business owners and the frustration they experience with not really knowing how to compete in a global marketplace. So I'm here to help you. Here's what you can expect in this video. So one, we're going to talk basic to advanced SEO. So some of this you might already know. Bear with me. I'm going to fit the advanced in there as well. I want this video to be super valuable to you. So we're also going to talk about SEO mistakes and content ideas. That's my favorite, providing ideas for what you can publish on your website. And then at the end of this video, I'm also going to share with you a bonus, ideas to increase your conversion rate. Once someone has arrived at your website, how can you then help them take the next step with you and become your customer? So a couple of definitions here. Content, when people refer to content, what they're talking about is the articles, messaging on your website. They're also talking about video on your website, as well as the graphics, the photos on your website. So all of that together, abbreviated, is just referred to as content. Conversion rate optimization, CRO, is what happens after your prospect lands on your website. If they become your customer, if they fill out your contact form, buy your product, donate, whatever it is you want them to do, then they have converted into a customer or a donor or a lead. So those are all examples of conversion rate. So, and then last but not least, SEO stands for search engine optimization. It's about showing up high in Google search results. The best position is to be first, right? So showing up first or high on the Google search results page so people will click through and look at your website and what you have to offer. So let's get started. So one thing you want to be aware of is that you have an advantage. So if you're a local business, you're not competing with the entire world, and you have the advantage of being local. So a lot of people want local for their products and services, and being local can help you if you really lean into it and embrace the fact that you're local. It can really level the playing field, even if you do have bigger competitors with a larger reach. You can kind of lean into being local. So let's get right into that. Okay, so I'm going to start with mistakes. So not a lot of mistakes here. We're going to stay basic here. So the first mistake that local businesses make when trying to get found online is they use the wrong kind of website platform. So they'll use something like Wix or Squarespace because the marketing out there makes it sound easy. So building any website is not easy. You cannot build a website in 10 minutes. And the weakness of Wix, Squarespace, Weebly, that I see is, well, one, it's not really your property. So that asset, let's say you build a website on one of those platforms, it actually belongs, everything you create there belongs to that platform. So you don't really own it. And those platforms also have a tendency to be weak for SEO, getting found online. So you can build a beautiful Squarespace website, but if it's not getting found, it's not getting showing up in search results, then it doesn't, how great is that? And these platforms are starting to advertise that they have more tools to help you with SEO, but they're really not enough. So what platform do I recommend? You've probably heard of it, WordPress. WordPress, when you build a WordPress website, you own it. You can sell it if you decide to sell your business. And it is also very powerful for SEO. So that's why it's the #1 choice for businesses, is because of the SEO tools that are available. And the fact is, when you're looking at websites that rank on Google, the majority of those websites are WordPress websites. So that's all I need to know to be able to make that decision right there. So that's a mistake that newer business owners or business owners that are less sophisticated with websites will make that kind of fall into that trap of using the wrong platform. So, okay, so then another mistake is not keeping your Google business profile up to date. So, and not just up to date, but complete as well. So Google Business Profile is what gets you on the map, on the Google map. And you don't have to actually have a physical storefront to have a Google Business Profile and to show and have that affect your search results. So, so no matter what, you want to set up a Google Business Profile. You want to put your service area in there so that you can start coming up for searches when people search bakery near me or car detailer near me. You want your Google profile to show up in those results. And that'll be determined by the physical location of the person who's doing the search. And so if I am, for example, looking for a car detailer in Columbus, but I'm in San Diego, the results that are gonna come up for me are gonna be San Diego because even when I put in Columbus, some of the results will be San Diego because Google knows I'm sitting in San Diego. And Google's always kind of pushing the local and making that determination based upon where the searcher is actually physically located. And Google knows where you're located. So whether you like it or not. Okay, so then also your social profiles. So social profiles meaning not just Google Business Profile, but your social media platform profiles. Now, so examples are Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, TripAdvisor, these types of, like, a lot of people who like restaurants or any kind of tourist activity provider, they're going to be on TripAdvisor. The different social platforms will vary depending on the type of business you are. And I'm not saying you have to be active on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok, but it's important to have your profile set up and complete. Claim it as yours before someone else does, right? So that's important for your brand. When someone searches for your business name, you want to own that whole front page and not have copycat people show up because they've claimed a profile in your name. So make sure you claim all of your social media platform profiles, and I gave you some examples there. That'll help you come up in search, so for local searches. Okay. Some other fundamentals. So you have to have an SSL certificate on your website, applied to your website. That's not really optional anymore. It used to be. You could say, well, I don't actually have a checkout process on my website, or I don't collect money, or so I don't need an SSL certificate. So that used to be true, but it's not anymore. Now it's universal. Everyone, if you want to show up in search results, you need to have an SSL certificate applied to your site. Good news though, it's free. So an SSL certificate is free with your hosting provider. If you're paying for an SSL certificate, it's time to get a different hosting provider, because hosting providers now pretty much, it's a standard practice to provide the SSL certificate for free and apply it for you. So you don't really have to know the ins and outs of how to apply the SSL certificate. So question that if you're paying for an SSL certificate. Okay, and then this last one, I can't believe I have to say it, but I'm going to say it. Your website needs to be mobile friendly. Now that's not complicated. It just means it needs to look good on mobile, and there really shouldn't be anything special that you have to do to your website in order for it to be mobile friendly. So pretty much 100% of WordPress themes out there, let's say 99% just in case there's a weird 1%, but 99% of WordPress themes that are used to build websites, even custom themes, are mobile friendly automatically, no extra work required. So no one should charge you extra to make your website mobile friendly. Unless your site is an old site, maybe it was built with it's an HTML site that was built like a decade ago and you're still using it, then maybe there's a charge for making that mobile friendly. But that's a different thing. Modern websites, they're pretty much all mobile friendly. If yours is not, time to get your website rebuilt. So otherwise you're going to struggle to show up in Google search results. Okay, content ideas. You need your business address on your website. So that looks like you can have it in your footer, on your contact page, and you need to use the name of the service area that you serve throughout your website. So for example, if you serve Nashville, you have to have your address, Nashville, Tennessee, but also throughout every page of the website need to have the word Nashville in the headings. So if you're a car detailer, it'll be Nashville Car Detailer, right? so that is important to have the name of your city, not just on your contact page with your address, not just in the footer, but throughout the website. So look for opportunities to fit your location throughout your website. And then not just that, you want to have a page called either, you want it to be published, it needs to be either titled service areas or locations. So you want to give it the title either service areas, or you want to give it the title locations. Even better if you can put the name of your product or service in front of that. For example, we do SEO training. So the name of that page on my website is SEO Training Locations, right? So whatever your service area is or your location, so it can be SEO training service areas, right? So it could go, so apply your product or service to that idea, create that page. That's not enough, so let's take that a step further. So let's say you have your page published. On that page, of course, you want to generally describe your service with an intro, right? What your services are. But then you want to provide links to more content on the website specific to that location. So let's say you have multiple local locations. So for example, Columbus, Ohio is a central Ohio city. There are many suburbs within Columbus, Ohio. So you can have a location for your service or product for Columbus, Ohio, but you can also have suburbs, right? So for example, a suburb of Columbus is Westerville. Another suburb is Grandview. Another suburb is Upper Arlington, New Albany, Bexley. So there's a long list of suburbs or neighborhoods, and people will search specifically for products or services in their neighborhood. So if I'm looking for a bakery near me, then I am going to search specifically the suburb that I'm in so that I don't have to go all the way across town to find a bakery, right? So same thing with other types of services that are local. So you don't want to just focus on the main city on your location page. On your location page or your service areas page, you want to have a link to your various suburbs that you serve, and those links should be going to articles titled, for example, let's say you're a dog sitter. And so your location page would be dog sitting service areas, right? That's your location page or your service area page. And on that page, I'm going to describe my service, my dog sitting service. And then I'm going to have a second paragraph, dog sitting service areas, right? That'll be maybe the heading for that paragraph. And then below that, I'll just have a list of dog sitting in Westerville, dog sitting in Upper Arlington, dog sitting in New Albany, dog sitting in Bexley, or dog sitter, right? Depends on the keyword research, what's going to show up better. Is it dog sitter, dog sitting? What you don't want to use is pet sitting, right? Because pet is not specific enough. people search specifically for dog or cat. So fewer people search the generic word pet, right? So so each of those headings, those locations for the various suburbs, needs to link to yet another page. So let's say one of them is dog sitting or dog sitter in Westerville. That will link to another page titled Dog Sitting Services in Westerville, Ohio. And that page will be all about my dog sitting services in Westerville, Ohio. And then I'll have another one linked to dog sitting services in Bexley, Ohio. So I'll link to that, link from that location page to that article titled Dog Sitting Services in Bexley, Ohio. It'll have a lot of the same information, but it'll be specific to Bexley, maybe talk about dog parks in Bexley, right? So, and that makes sense that I would talk about dog parks in Bexley if I'm a dog sitter. So you're getting the idea where there's this funnel, and the location page will help you show up for those specific location searches that your prospects will make. So that's how you want to develop content as a local business owner on your website. If you're a restaurant, you can use the same ideas here. Restaurants are local usually, and so you serve different neighborhoods, right? You have one main city that's the larger population area that you're in or that you're targeting, and then you have the surrounding neighborhoods and areas. You can also create content specific according to the type of food that you serve. So, for example, if you're an Italian restaurant, you want to have your location page titled Italian Restaurant, one of your content pages, it's not the location page, but it would be, it could be Italian restaurant locations, or you could have another kind of sub-page titled Italian food in Columbus, Ohio. So it could be, so you want to talk about the type of food that you have, and you can even talk about specific dishes. Veal Parmesan in Columbus, Ohio. Maybe someone just really wants veal Parmesan. So they could be looking for that specific dish. If you're not writing about it on your website, it's not going to show up. So you got to write that content on your website. Creating all of this content is a lot of work. It takes a lot of time. So if you're ever working with an SEO agency that is providing you services, part of their services should be creating that content for your website, not just shuffling papers. So they should not be just shuffling papers and working some kind of magic here, working some kind of magic there. Who knows what they're doing? A lot of agencies will take a lot of your money and not actually create content on your website. So that should be part of the deal. If it's not part of the deal, then you want to question what you're getting there. What are you getting? Once someone sets up, for example, once someone sets up your Google business profile, that's not something that needs to be maintained for thousands of dollars a month, right? So that's not enough. That's kind of like a one-time setup, and that's not an ongoing service. Applying your SSL certificate happens once, and then it's not like an ongoing fee, right? So what is ongoing, though, this is really the only thing that's ongoing, is content creation on your website and strategizing for what that content will be. Now, if you have an agreement with your SEO agency that, maybe the SEO agency is helping you with strategy, coming up with content ideas, but then you are supposed to then create that content on the website. Some agencies operate that way, and so it's a more collaborative effort. That's how my agency operates. We do training, and we like to empower our clients to do their own SEO. So we have a different way of working than most agencies. So, okay, so last, I promised you that I would give you some ideas for conversion rate optimization. So once someone lands on your website, your local business website, how can you get them to actually buy or add to cart or fill out, your contact form or download your lead magnet, inquire, all those things that would you could call a conversion. So one is make it easy. So this is the biggest thing. Make it easy to take the next step with you. So instead of just having a contact page link in your menu, you want to have the ability to contact you, a button that links directly to you, or a phone number or something that's, whatever your call to action is, you want that on every single page and post of your website. And you don't want it all the way down at the bottom or hidden up in your menu. You want it in the middle of the page, or near the top of the page, depending on how long your page is, and multiple times. So this is called a call to action, CTA. And you want that call to action early in your intro, in the middle, and near the end, and as well as in your menu and in your footer. So you want people to be able to take that next step with you easily, and you have to invite them. So inviting them means you're not just giving them information, right? You're not just sharing information. You are asking people to take the next step. So you're inviting them to your restaurant, to your bakery. You're inviting them to call you to learn more. This has, you would think that you might not have to do that, but you have to. So because people will thank you for their information and then leave without taking the next steps. So surprisingly, make sure it's easy, that I don't have to go through multiple pages or multiple steps to buy your product, to sign up for your service. Don't have me fill out an incredibly long form. I will abandon it. So make it easy. And then of course you'll get calls from people who are maybe not really your client, or maybe not people that you want to work with. That's kind of part of what comes with getting a lot of traffic to your website, is you get, some people say no to you, or you say no to them after you've had a chance to talk. And it usually doesn't take long for people to figure that out. Okay, also photos on your website. So you want photos, not just photos, but photos of people. So there are a couple of situations. So let's say you're a bakery. If you're a bakery, of course you want photos of all the wonderful baked items that you have for sale. But you also want photos of people enjoying those baked items, right? So you want people eating or getting ready to eat, or having fun with their dozen donuts or whatever it is that they're buying. You want to show people, because people relate to people, not things. Now, what if you sell software? So you want to show people using your software, even if that's someone sitting in front of a computer. But it's not just their hands, it's their whole self actually in front of a computer, enjoying themselves using your software. Whatever it is that you are offering, you need to show people taking advantage of that service. So imagine that. What does it look like when someone uses your product or works with you? What does that look like? And you may need to go out and get those photos. Okay, so that's really important to being perceived as trustworthy, as well as relatable. So photos of people using your product or engaging with your service. Photos of the company founders. So even if you're a bigger company, you definitely want people, who is this I'm doing business with, right? And people, again, and it plays into, people want to do business with people. And so regardless of, even if you feel like, well, they don't need to see me, I don't really do anything, or I'm not that pretty, or what if they see my face and then they don't want to work with me? So you don't want to skip over this. You want to have an about page. You want to have your story of how you came to be in the business that you have locally. The local businesses usually have a really good story. So this is part of being perceived as a real person, you don't want to make the mistake of trying to appear bigger than what you really are. So because people don't trust that. So it will actually work in your favor to appear smaller, but capable, right? And trustworthy. So have that photo on your website, and you can have it in multiple places. Okay, and then last but not least, test your contact forms. I've been to websites recently where I've wanted more information. I've gone to fill out the contact form. That's all there was. There was no phone number. And when I went to fill out the contact form, it was non-functional. So from my end, and there was no other way to contact this company. So from my end, I was like, well, I guess I'm not going to do business with this place. The other thing is your prospect may be filling out your contact form, but you might not be receiving it. So that's another problem. So test your contact forms. Is the contact form notification arriving at the right place so that you know people are trying to reach out, right? So test your contact forms so that you're getting, making sure you're getting that effort to communicate with you. Okay, I'm Emily Journey. Subscribe to my channel if you'd like to watch more videos like this one, learn more.